The emergency lights painted everything red inside the dying hive ship. Sergeant Devon Rask pressed himself against the chitinous wall, trying to control his breathing as footsteps, too many footsteps, echoed through the corridor behind him. 3 hours ago, his squad had breached the derelict vessel floating in the Kepler belt. Intelligence said it was abandoned. Intelligence was wrong. The ambush had been swift and brutal. The Zerthani warriors materialized from hidden chambers, their 4 arms wielding weapons that turned matter to ash. Devon had watched his squad mates disintegrate one by one as they fought their way back to the breach point. He'd been separated during the retreat, forced deeper into the ship's core when a bulkhead collapsed behind him. Then his rifle took a glancing hit. The weapon hadn't disintegrated. Worse, it had fused into an unusable lump of metal and polymer. He'd thrown it aside and kept running. Now he was lost in the guts of an alien hive ship, unarmed, with an unknown number of hostiles between him and safety. "Not how I planned to die," Devon muttered, checking the corridor ahead. The organic architecture of the Zerthani ship pulsed with bioluminescence, making shadows dance across walls that looked more grown than built. He could hear them now, the clicking, chittering language of his pursuers getting closer. 3 of them rounded the corner. Zerthani warriors, each standing 7 feet tall, their exoskeletons gleaming purple-black in the dim light. They saw him instantly. No point in hiding now. Devon did the only thing that made sense. He charged. The lead warrior raised its weapon, but Devon was already inside its guard, driving his fist into what passed for its solar plexus. The alien doubled over, and Devon grabbed 2 of its 4 arms, using the creature's own weight to slam it into its companion. The 3rd warrior fired, but the shot went wide as Devon dove and rolled, coming up with a jagged piece of hull plating he'd spotted earlier. It wasn't a weapon. It was barely a tool. But when driven with enough force into the joint where a Zerthani's head met its torso, it would do. The warrior collapsed, its death rattle bringing more footsteps from deeper in the ship. Devon didn't wait. He ran, taking random turns, descending deeper into the vessel's heart. The architecture changed as he went, less military, more ceremonial. The walls here were decorated with patterns he didn't recognize, and the bioluminescence shifted from red to deep purple. He found himself in a vast chamber, circular and multi-tiered like an amphitheater. But there was no exit except the way he'd come in, and he could already hear his pursuers approaching. Devon turned, ready to make his last stand, and froze. She sat on a throne of living bone at the chamber's center, and she was nothing like the warriors he'd been fighting. The Zerthani queen was larger, easily 9 feet tall, even seated, but her exoskeleton was different. Where the warriors were angular and armored, she was elegant, almost fluid. Her carapace shifted between deep purple and midnight blue, and instead of 4 arms, she had 6, currently folded in a pose that suggested contemplation rather than aggression. Her eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle on her face, fixed on Devon with an intelligence that made his combat instinct scream. This wasn't just an alien. This was a mind that could match his own. "Fascinating," she said in perfectly accented English. "You understand you're going to die here human, yet you ran toward my throne room, not away from it." Devon kept his makeshift weapon ready, eyes scanning for threats. The chamber held other Zerthani, advisors or guards, he couldn't tell, but none moved to attack. Didn't have much choice in the direction. "No," the queen agreed. But you had choices in how you fought. I watched you, human. Through the ship's organic nervous system, I saw everything. She leaned forward, and Devon realized the entire chamber might be an extension of her own awareness. My warriors are bred for combat, trained from birth, enhanced with bio-weapons integrated into their very bodies. And you killed 3 with your bare hands and a piece of scrap metal. 4, Devon corrected. 1 more in the corridor before I found this place. A sound rippled through the chamber, alien laughter from the assembled Zerthani. But the Queen's expression didn't change. You're bleeding from 7 different wounds. You've been running for hours. You know you cannot win, yet you still keep count of your victories. Why? Because, Devon said, gripping his makeshift blade tighter, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die knowing exactly how many of you bastards I took with me. The Queen rose from her throne in one fluid motion. She was massive, and every instinct Devon had told him to run. But there was nowhere to run to. The warriors from the corridor were filing into the chamber now, forming a loose circle around him. I am Queen Zalandra Reyes Morvain, she said, descending the steps toward him. First daughter of the 7th Clutch, keeper of the Stellar Hive, commander of 40 war fleets. She stopped just outside his striking range. And I am losing a war I cannot win with warriors alone. Devon kept his weapon up, but confusion joined his adrenaline. What? Zalandra gestured, and the walls of the chamber shifted. Images appeared in the bioluminescence, other Zerthani, other fleets, battles across star systems Devon didn't recognize. The Zerthani Empire is fracturing. Warlords who should serve the Stellar Hive are claiming independence. They massed their fleets at my borders, testing my strength. They killed my mate. They send assassins to my own ships, and worst of all, she paused, and something like pain flickered across her alien features. They use my own protocols against me. They know how the Hive thinks, how our instincts work, how to predict every move I make. What does this have to do with me? Devon demanded. Everything. Zalandra moved closer, and Devon tensed. My warriors are loyal, but they are predictable. They follow Hive patterns, genetic imperatives, ancient protocols. Any Zerthani warlord can predict their tactics because we are all shaped by the same evolutionary pressures. But you, her eyes fixed on him with laser focus. You are chaos, unpredictable. You fight with instinct and improvisation that no Zerthani mind can anticipate. You turned my ship's own structure against my warriors. You used their biology as a weakness. You survived because you think in ways we cannot. Devon's mind raced. You want to recruit me? I just killed 4 of your people and demonstrated exactly the qualities I need in a champion. Zalandra raised one of her 6 hands, and Devon saw something gleaming in her palm. A small, living thing that pulsed with the same bioluminescence as the ship. The warlords will come for me soon. When they do, I need someone who can stand in the arena of ascension and fight in my name. Someone they cannot predict, cannot counter, cannot corrupt with hive politics or genetic loyalty. Someone who owes allegiance to nothing but survival. I owe allegiance to humanity, Devon said, to my squad, to the people you've been at war with for 3 years. Your squad is dead, Zalandra said bluntly. Your ship left the sector hours ago. I watched its drives ignite. They think you died in the initial breach. You have no way home, no backup, no hope, unless I give it to you. Devon wanted to argue, but she was right. His suit's oxygen would run out in another 6 hours. Even if he killed her, even if he fought his way to an escape pod, he had no way to navigate back to human space from deep in the Kepler belt. He was already dead, he just hadn't stopped moving yet. "What's that thing in your hand?" he asked. "A marker." In Zerthani culture, a champion bears the genetic signature of their sponsor. "This will mark you as mine, make my warriors recognize you as untouchable, give you status in the hive, allow you to survive in my court." She studied his face. "It will also hurt, considerably." "Of course it will." Devon lowered his makeshift weapon slightly. "And if I refuse? Then my warriors will kill you where you stand, and I will find another way to die with honor when the warlords come." Zalandra's mandibles clicked in what might have been a smile. "But you won't refuse, because you're a survivor, Devon Rask. Because you killed 4 of my finest warriors with nothing but your hands and your will to live. Because some part of you knows this is better than bleeding out alone in a corridor." Devon looked around the chamber. Dozens of Zerthani eyes watched him, waiting. He thought about his squad, about the 3 years of brutal war that had brought him here, about every reason he had to spit in this alien queen's face and die fighting. Then he thought about living, about the opportunity to strike back at the Zerthani from within their own power structure, about being the chaos in their ordered hive minds that Zalandra claimed to need, about being more dangerous alive than dead. "Do it," he said. Zalandra moved faster than he could track. Her hand pressed against his chest, and the living marker she held burrowed into his skin. Devon screamed. She'd been right about the pain, as something alien and burning spread through his cardiovascular system like wildfire. He collapsed to his knees, feeling the thing rewriting his very scent, his biological signature, marking him at a level that every Zerthani instinct would recognize. When it was done, he looked down. A pattern like fractal lightning had spread across his chest, visible even through his combat suit. It pulsed with the same purple-blue bioluminescence as Zalandra's carapace. "Rise, Devon Rask," the queen said. "Champion of the stellar hive, you are hive-marked now. No Zerthani can harm you without my explicit command. You speak with my authority. You fight with my power behind you." Devon stood on shaking legs. Every Zerthani in the chamber had shifted their posture, not quite bowing but acknowledging him. Even the warriors who'd been hunting him minutes ago now regarded him with something like respect. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now," Zalandra said, returning to her throne, "you learn to survive in a Zerthani court. You learn our politics, our hierarchies, our way of war. You train to fight in the arena of ascension, because when the warlords come, they will challenge my right to rule through combat. And you, my unpredictable human champion, will be the weapon they never see coming." She gestured to her advisors. "Nixara, prepare quarters for my champion. Human standard atmosphere and temperature. Okay, begin combat assessments. I want to know exactly what this human is capable of with proper equipment. Zethlin, draft the formal announcement of my new champion's status. The warlords should know what awaits them." The named Zerthani moved to obey, but Devon stood his ground. "You still haven't told me why you'd trust a human with this much power in your court." Zalandra's mandibles clicked again. "Trust? I don't trust you, Devon Rask, but I understand you. You're a predator surrounded by other predators, fighting to survive in a world that wants you dead. Every day you stay alive is a victory against impossible odds. Every enemy you defeat proves that evolution and genetics mean nothing compared to will and adaptability." her 3 eyes fixed on him. "You're exactly like me. And that is why you'll fight for this hive. Because here you have the chance to be more than a soldier lost in space. Here you can be chaos incarnate. Here you can make the predators fear you." Devon felt the marker burning in his chest, binding him to this alien queen and her collapsing empire. He thought about escape, about resistance, about holding onto his humanity in the heart of an alien hive. Then he thought about the look in Zalandra's eyes, that mix of calculation and desperation, intelligence and ruthlessness. She was using him, yes, but he could use her right back. "When do we start?" he asked. The queen's laugh echoed through the chamber like breaking glass. "We already have my champion. The warlords are coming. The hive is fracturing, and you are going to help me burn it all down to save it." She leaned forward on her throne. "Welcome to the Zerthani court, Devon Rask. Try not to die before you become useful." Devon looked at his hands, still human, still his own, but now marked with alien bioluminescence that pulsed with each heartbeat. He'd come to this ship as a soldier. He would leave it, if he left it at all, as something else entirely. The game had changed. And Devon Rask had always been good at adapting to new rules.